G'day everyone. Proud to say Barkarati is brought to you by Radix Nutrition, makers of the most technically comprehensive nutrition products that have ever existed. Unlock your potential with Radix. G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati, the Sailing Podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer. It's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors, but of course I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. First off, Mr. Sniffles, Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
Sniffles.
Yeah, you just had a big sniff on the audio, mate.
Well, new technology, I'm getting used to it because I'm all over this technology stuff, and it's, I've got new buttons to push and I could really piss Bicey off today, so I'm going to have fun.
Let's just play friendly today. Let's bring in the other bloke.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine
Mr. Bryce.
If you could make the emoji over your head on your new phone, look like a poo, that'll be probably appropriate.
Just for the listener, there's BP's new phone. He's found all the screen things, and Bicey says it's reminding him of talking to his kids at the moment. So that's the banter that's gone. Okay, sorry, Boss.
Yeah, exactly. No, back on deck. I've actually said that quite a few times as I've come back to Adelaide town, just for a short period.
Yeah. And
then back on the road again, ready for St. Pay next week.
Oh,
so I won't tell you too much about. We'll save it till hot time on all the
goings on.
What's happened over the last couple of weeks and being offline, obviously.
Oh, hang on.
Of course.
We do have to say, we haven't had you for a couple of weeks because you've gone off to win a world championship, which you did. So congratulations, mate. I think that's that's important.
No, I mean, the show's definitely not about us. But hot time this week is certainly about us. So we're about us.
Actually, it's a good one. That's cool. Well, all right.
We know a world champion. Yeah.
Yeah. All good. All good, boys.
Look, if it's not about us, then it's about our guest. This week, our guest is a Scottish lad. Works for North Sails. So sailmaker, pro sailor, has done quite a few different things in the pro circuit. Obviously, things like the Fastnet, the Hobart, the Royal Commodore's Cup, the Ocean Race Europe, all sorts of different things, including Lincoln Race Week.
Second best race in the world.
Yeah. Which is,
we don't want to brag.
No, that's right. But so there's a little bit of excitement to have a bit of a banter from. This
episode's just going to end up about Lincoln Race Week, right?
It could do.
Most do.
Right. But anyway, we're very interested and excited to have joining us on the show, Ruaridh Wright. Welcome to the Barkarati, my friend.
Thank you for having me. Delighted to be here.
Yeah.
How was the pronunciation?
It was awful, wasn't it?
I'm just sticking with Rory.
It rolled off the tongue. It was perfect.
There you go. Yeah. Somebody's lying. Somebody is lying. Mate, congratulations on your career so far. Are you living your dream?
I think so. Yeah. It's probably a good analogy for it. I didn't expect to be doing what I was doing just now, but I'm enjoying every step of it. That's for sure.
Well, if you weren't expecting to be here, where did you expect to be? Down the local fish and chip shop?
Not quite. Yeah, I was a bit more ambitious than that, but I very much fell into what I was doing, just through various things. I didn't really expect to be a pro sailor, and I had kind of ambitions to be a sail designer, not follow any of that, and suddenly I'm kind of living the dream, as you said, I guess.
So how did you, obviously for you, it was family, wasn't it, that sort of brought you into the sport?
Yeah, so my dad was a lifelong sailor, and he looked after a few boats in Scotland, and I was kind of dragged along as a kid, and I absolutely hated it. I was like a 7-year-old in the hatch wearing this big, stupid orange life jacket on a Swan 44 in 10 degrees and driving rain in Scotland. And I guess as I grew up, I kind of grew into it and started like being given ropes with no load on them to hold and all that kind of thing. And then he took over a classic boat, actually a boat called Opposition, and it went down to Cows for a refit. Opposition was Morning Cloud, and Morning Cloud, the boat before, won the Hobart overall with Ted Heath as the Prime Minister. And then just through all that, I was doing loads of sailing down south on the south coast, which was a lot more sailing on the south coast than anywhere else in the UK. And I eventually started sailing other boats and found myself in a Commodore's Cup team. And I think we had a disastrous first one, but it was a sort of big learning experience for me. And I was kind of trimming the jib and being like the crew boss and stuff like that. And I was, in uni doing naval architecture, sailing all the time. And then I kept doing that and sort of got known to people on the south coast as a big guy. So everyone loved me on the rail and was doing like maths and stuff like that. And then through naval architecture and things like that, I got into looking more into the more technical side of sailing and all sorts. And I guess eventually I finished university, got my degree, and then took a job as a laser operator for North Sails in the UK. And a lot of people said, like, just don't do that. That's a terrible idea, But I kind of went in and I was like, well, I'd like to be a sailmaker and I want to do a lot of sailing. And eventually a guy called Dave Sweet, who probably most of the sailing world knows, walked up to me one day when I was working away in the plotter, cutting out triangles, and he was like, do you want to come to, where do we go? San Francisco, and come sail in the Pac 52s. And I just didn't really know what was going on. Like I'd never sailed anything more like a first 40 at the time. And suddenly I was like hanging off the rail. I was so inflexible. Like one of the first top mark roundings we did, my mates Chris and Rob were there, and they're like, Ruaridh, just keep your head down, keep hiking. This is serious. So okay. Got to the first mark, and Dave was like, you come off the rail in 3. So came off the rail, but I'd lost feeling in both my legs. So I was hiking, never hiked that in my life. And I doggy dragged myself. Like, when a dog has worms, I was like pulling myself across the deck to get there. And then grabbed onto Dave by the shoulders and hung on for the first hoist. And then, all just kind of went from there, really.
Well, it's a good place to start, Rory.
Yeah, I know. I'd done loads of amateur sailing, Commodore's Cups, and we won one of those on the lead up to that. But that was kind of what got me into it. And I was doing a lot of sailing on the Solent as well. I looked after I was the tactician of first 40, and he upgraded to a Mat 12, and we did really well in that offshore and inshore. And then eventually I just got more and more known at North Sails, and they asked me to go and be a salesman at some point, which is where I am now and what I'm doing now. So I guess that's I didn't follow any traditional paths to get into sailing. I didn't do any squads. I didn't do anything like that. So that's why it's unexpected. Yeah. I'm sort of living the dream as well. I came from more of a big.
You mentioned naval architecture. I'm assuming Southampton is where you went.
No, Strathclyde.
No? Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's a smarter version.
Oh, here we go. First, I thought it was going to be, up against North Sails v Door Sails, but it's Southampton versus Strathclyde. We like a bit of controversy on the show. Yeah.
Do you find Rory, that you're not necessarily obviously designing boats, but do you find you lean on that with looking at different designs and different boats that come your way with what you're doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. It gives me I think a good technical base in all of it, and I'm sailing is the more important side of what I do for North Sails, but the technical side helps hugely with that. So I try to be as technical as I can. I'm obviously not a designer, but I think the more technical you can be, the better it is. For yourself, for the client, for everything. It's hugely applicable. And most of what I did in my degree, Strathclyde studies marine and offshore and all sorts of different types of naval architecture and marine engineering. but I focused very much in my dissertation was about sail trim and design using CFD and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, it's absolutely applicable. We're looking at numbers all the time. Yeah,
I kind of think, naval architecture, when I visualise the degree of naval architecture, I remember as kids how we all used to draw boats when we're supposed to be concentrating at school. And I figure that naval architecture is just that those kids just didn't stop drawing and they kept going, and that became their university career, sketching on a pad. And so I've always thought, it's a pretty nice way to get through university. I do like that. The other interesting thing out of your story was at the start. You said starting as a young fella in Scotland with your old band, and when you said 7 or 8 degrees, I thought, typical summer day in Scotland was what popped into my head. But then I realised your sailing was in Largs Bay, and you hated going in Largs in Scotland. That's correct, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Which is quite comedic for all of us, given in South Australia there's a yacht club at Largs Bay. There's a place called Largs Bay, and we just call it Largs. And so there's a little bit of banter that could be flying around on that. But
well, you started the second greatest yacht race directly off Largs Beach, basically. So there you go. That gives you an idea where you are.
Yep, that's exactly right.
I did not realise that.
I'm amazed you didn't get life membership.
So, with this sort of approach, you were just you went into North Sales, but you've done particularly well in North Sales in terms of, you say you're determined, but I saw you won the Richmond Award, which is named after Sam Richmond, which is a big honour. Was that the initial award? So they're rewarding, people that go beyond expectations in the role. That must be pretty motivating for you.
Yeah. I mean, that was, I think, that was pretty shocking for me. I mean, I was just sat in the loft one day, and John Welsh comes through and taps me on the shoulder and says, "Ruaridh, can you come to my office, please?" I was like, God, what have I done?
Here we go.
Did I get that girl home?
All over before it began.
And he sat me down and told me what had happened. I was like, I was pretty emotional, but yeah, it was incredible, and it's a really nice way to remember him, and I think it's almost like a nice thing to aspire to. It's a youth award as well, under 35s. So yeah, and it's funny watching it internally, because I don't think people openly go for it, but like when that time of year comes around, there's a bit of a feel about the place. It's quite nice.
Right.
Yeah.
It's actually astonishing. You still see the flags up on a lot of boats around the place. But I can imagine that time of year, because it would be something quite prestigious to win within North Sales. It'd be like the, I'd imagine, when the Michelin star assessors come to each restaurant, they just step up their game just for that little bit. And then once the assessment's done, just keep dropping forks and fucking shit under the table.
The sales numbers.
Jeez, Michelin stars. I bet you the Saffron Queen was glad that the Michelin star assessor wasn't there that night we were at her restaurant.
Yeah, that's right.
You think Don Manolo should get a Michelin star, Bicey?
Say again, over?
Don Manolo, Michelin star.
Already got one. Got the Bice star.
Before we go too far down, there's going to be a lot of people listening who, youngsters listening would be going, they're all mad, passionate sailors, and that maybe give sort of a bit of background about life as a sailmaker, what it's like, so that imagine there's a kid asking you what life's like as a sailmaker. What would you say?
It's whatever you make it with so many things. I think if you set your stall out and you say, I want to achieve something, then there's every possibility you can do that through sailmaking. And whether that's you like sailmaking, you just want to do that, that's great. You could aspire to go and work on an America's Cup as a sailmaker. You could go and work in a team, you can use it to enhance your abilities on the boat. So it's wherever you want it to be. It can be a 9-to-5 job, or you can work bloody hard and you can work all hours of the night fixing spinnakers and, you know, sleeping on spinnaker bags. If you want to, and that's usually the thing that gets noticed. You know, you've got to be a level of good if you want to go far in it, but it's, with so many things, it's effort. So it can definitely be whatever you want it to be. I think, you know, it is quite physical. Certainly the UK loft and the Australia loft as well. There's some big gear goes through there. So you're pulling things and you're on your hands and knees a lot and using heavy machinery. But, you know, a lot of people like that sort of thing. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It probably, for me, it was a stepping stone to something else, but it's a great job, and you can make a great career out of it too. So comes back to
our old analogy of pick the broom up and don't be a dickhead type of thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm just shaking my head here, and a few people would have heard me say this, but I always wanted to be a sailmaker. And to tell you the truth, like moving, they're just,
heavy.
I could think of nothing worse. I'd rather grind. I've said this. I'd rather grind carbon fibre in me undies.
Well, so you have been lifting some big sails around, I'm sure, the last couple of weeks.
Don't worry. The Mount Galatea has been shifted. You probably noticed on Google Earth that Mount Galatea is no longer in Porto-Cervo. It's been moved to Saint-Tropez, to Coquelin. No, but the truth is, to me, sailmakers are the ones that professionalise the sport back in the 90s. And they're the ones that help push the owners to keep developing. And it's probably one of the areas in the industry that has developed and keeps evolving, and the different sailmakers keep pushing each other. So it's pretty cool to watch and admire, and especially now with all the digital side of it and the software involved, it's a known entity. Well, that's what we think now, but imagine 5 years, 10 years, it just keeps advancing. So it's a great industry to be part of.
Yeah, I mean, the progress in the technology, especially just now, is huge. And the competitive, you mentioned earlier about all three sailmakers being under one umbrella, but it's never been more competitive, and it's just never been so, I think, exciting to be part of it all, because there's so much technology, even in the lower levels now as well. It's pretty cool part of the sport and the industry to be a part of.
Yeah.
Well, from your perspective, like just as a sort of random discussion, what do you reckon has been the biggest piece of technology to come through recently that has had the most effect?
In sailmaking itself?
In the sailmaking side, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be accused of bias, but it would definitely be 3DI for me.
Yeah.
It's like making something more muscular and taking the fat out. You remove the layers, you remove the things holding it together, you straighten out fibers, pre-preg as well. You're shedding a whole load of weight, and everything in that sail is actually working towards what the shape is supposed to be, as opposed to anything hold it together. So for me, that's got to be the thing, and that was also part of the reason I went down the North Sails route, because I'd explored many routes and had offers, but studying that at university and studying materials, fibers, building methods, that was the one. So that for me is the biggest thing.
So when you're at uni and you're doing your degree, what was the elements that got you most interested? Was it the design, or was it that sort of technical element where you're looking? You said fibers there, so was that something that was of interest to you?
The biggest interest for me actually was aerodynamics, more than anything else. Yeah. Like, I was a bit of an aerodynamics geek, and I nearly did aeronautical engineering at Glasgow instead of naval architecture at Strathclyde. Yeah. But I was doing so much sailing; it's in my background, so that was the obvious choice in the end. But that for me, like how air moves around objects, like, because it's invisible, it's like, to the human mind, it's just like you just can't understand it. So you actually have to study these things and test it, and make air visible through smoke or whatever to do it. So and the phenomena you get through it is also pretty amazing. Just the fact a boat goes upwind is kind of mind-boggling. Certainly if you're
It's like watching a plane take off. It's like, how the fuck does that work? That's bullshit.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just going back, I had one smart-ass comment when you're explaining what 3DI is, and I just thought to myself, Jordan, you're the human version of 3DI. Just
the joke was coming off that.
Perfect human being.
Yeah,
just
apart from the weight shedding and the weight shedding.
Creating optimum performance from a shape.
From a shit shape. No, that's right. I'm perfect.
But if you were like an actual bullet, like you are shaped like a torpedo,
right?
You've like a Spitfire, like the big head at the front. The aeronautics is just beautiful.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, Roy.
No, it's good.
It's all about vortex generation, isn't it?
Enjoying the ride. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm quite good on the trapeze boat because I've got a giant head, so I've got a lot of leverage. Most of my weight's quite concentrated right up here on top of my shoulders, so it does
you
provide.
Float upside down, I imagine. Legs above water. You float upside down, I imagine. Legs above water.
Never been in the water, never capsize. Just that good.
Awesome, eh? Awesome.
Sailing in Adelaide, you can't afford to capsize.
Yeah, you get eaten in Adelaide.
No.
Speaking of which, we'll get to Lincoln. We've got to get to Lincoln because obviously Sharpie Regatta coming up in Lincoln. We've got to talk about race week. But I'm interested around that sort of whole aerodynamics element. And I guess, as Bicey said, like you look at a plane taking off, how's that possible? But that's the great joy of sailing to me is that, for a plane to take off, they put a wing out and then use thrust to get past it. Whereas in sailing, we take that and a soft aerodynamic shape and just hold it at the right angle and let the wind flow around it, and when you try and explain that to non-sailors, it's amazing. And of course, if Bernoulli hadn't been born, we'd never be able to do any of this stuff. So
Still be watching the water go down the drain straight.
Rory's just sitting there going, these idiots, I want to talk about aerodynamics properly, but you guys are just ruining it for me.
Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, I'll go grab a coffee. You guys carry on, all right?
So, speaking, when you, like from a sail making perspective, right, that whole structure and shape, right, when we're, depending on what sort of sail you're designing is quite interesting. So when you look at, like for me, one of the most difficult things is, being a sailor, dinghy sailor, yacht sailor, and a windsurfer, the evolution of windsurfing sails where, they go to this massive downhaul and massive twists and big floppy leeches and stuff like that. But I wonder how you look at that sort of stuff when you look at, you're predominantly working in, designs for yachts sort of thing, which is a completely different setup.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I guess the biggest thing is always iteration, and it always comes down to what works. And it's a bit of a boring answer, but it kind of is the answer. And the more you do it, the closer you get, and the more you record it, the quicker you get there. So I think going out on a limb on something doesn't really work. It's got to be that process, and we have our designers say this all the time. It's like we're looking for percents here and there, and it's getting those percents that make something better. So whether it's twist profile or depth or whatever, we've got a starting point, we've got a set of molds and all that kind of thing, and then it might be good, but then we'll look at, okay, actually, we can reduce the depth in the mid stripe by X amount or Y amount, or we can try a luff curve mod here and all that kind of thing. So the approach is very much, take it, test it, move it, record it. And yeah, it sounds a little bit dull, but it really does work. And that's what, when we design a sail from scratch, we start with a known mold. We don't just make it up. It's, okay, this works for this boat. This is quite similar. Okay, what do we need to do to make it applicable here?
Yeah. I mean, but then I get what you're saying, and it's kind of like tactics on a race course, like if you're hitting corners, you're taking great big risk. You're going to get a win occasionally, but 98% of the time, 60, 70% of the time, you're going to lose. You're going to go out on an edge. You're going to get either going to get a gain or get a big loss, and so that's what you're saying. You're sort of working, and just making those gradual changes, and that's the process, is what you're sort of saying, and you can correlate that to a race course.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. You don't want to be too safe either. You've got to try stuff, and occasionally you've got to fail as well. It's actually. It's important to fail, not too catastrophically, but it's good to push the boundary of something occasionally and get it wrong, because then you're also learning, and you probably learned the way not to go. Yeah.
No, I mean we're actually the poster children for learning to fail. So
learning's a strong term.
So let's talk about a little adventure you had down under. How did that come about?
How did that come about? So after sailing on the Pack 52s, I was meant to be doing RC44s and fast 40s as an amateur. I was then told by World Sailing that I was in fact not an amateur, but I wasn't actually being paid for any of that stuff at that time. Fortunately, the Invisible Hand guys were like, well, actually, we've got Cat 3 space for the year. And then they said, here's the calendar. So I went to the loft manager, Martin, and said, can I have 95 days off this year, please? And that went down like a lead balloon.
Please.
So suddenly I wasn't working off sales, but it was all amicable. I left. And then I just did this amazing year of sailing. And then at the end of it, I kind of had nothing to do because it was season over. So I was looking about a few options, and I had an option to go with another sailmaker. And I took that to Sam Richmond in the UK. And the next day I was on a video call to Michael Coxon. And a week later I was on a plane out to Sydney. And wow. It was as simple as that. Yeah, it moved really fast. I showed up, and I was put to work the next day, I think. In a very, very hot environment. I had no idea it was going to be as brutal as it was. But
Sydney's mild.
Yeah, not for a Scotsman.
Did you love?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the pub around the corner. It's a pretty hot environment there on a Friday afternoon, just quietly.
The Golden Sheep would be talking.
No, probably up in the Mona Bar, right?
Oh, I can't remember what the pub was called, but we went to the brewery, which did 12% beers.
Oh yeah, yep. Behind
the pub. We did the hot wing challenge. We had to sign a disclaimer and stuff, and I couldn't feel my mouth afterwards. It was like someone inserted a poker into your throat, like a red hot one. So I was thinking all these beers, because they didn't taste of anything, because my throat was on fire, but they're all 12%.
Oh, good technique.
And ended up as you might expect.
Yeah, and that's where you got your first promotion, because you went and slept on the spinnaker bags in the loft because you couldn't get home, and they thought you'd gone back to work and worked all night, and away you go, and that's how you get ahead.
Exactly. Style it out.
Now I've got to ask. Obviously, you mentioned Michael Coxon, so Coco, as we would refer to him. So was the head of the North Loft. He's now retired, and Squark has taken over. So obviously Australia, you've got to have a nickname. When you turned up with your name, what did they give you a nickname at all?
They tried.
I mean, we won't repeat it. Promise you. Let us know.
We won't know it listens, so it's all right.
I think they're confused at what to do. I think they ended up on Polar Bear. Was the final one, but there was like a bit like our sail design. There's an iterative process to get there, and yeah.
The problem with Polar Bear is it's a bit long for a nickname for an Aussie. So, and then Bear's taken in Sydney. So, I wonder what that would have shortened down to. I'm interested. So, it was Polar Bear was where it was at, was it, when you left?
I think it was maybe Polar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PB. Yeah.
PB. I reckon we're heading to PB.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it evolves. It's obviously going to take a life, but I wonder, what was was there any, apart from the heat, was there sort of major cultural shock?
Having to repeat everything you said because no one understood you?
Not really. Although in terms of work ethic, we're at the loft for 6 every day, and quite often we're working till 7 at night. There's no aircon. The forest fires are raging.
Oh yeah.
That year. Okay.
It was proper work. It was fun, but yeah, it was a bit like Bicey's thoughts on sailmaking earlier with carbon dust. But I don't know. I think the thing they said to me is, we work hard here, but the weekends are sacred. And, when the weekends hit, I'm having fun, or we're off sailing or doing whatever. And I think, in the UK, we do a bit more weekend work, but probably because we haven't worked hard enough during the week, I imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
And what sailing opportunities came? What was your first approach? Did they take you down to a club and push you onto a boat, or did you source your own opportunities?
It says that you put me onto a Pico or something. No, part of the sort of deal of going out there was I was going to do a whole season on Chinese Whisper with Coco. So got there. It was, what was the first race? It's Lion Island, Cabbage Tree. We did that. The series in the lead up to the Hobart, and then did the Hobart itself down to the IRC Nationals. We're in Hobart that year, and then on to Adelaide and Port Lincoln as well after that.
2019, that would have been the first year of when it was with Coco, the Whisper. About?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it was my first year as well, obviously. So I don't know.
I was actually thinking more along the lines that could have been the infamous year of the when we interviewed the interview that we don't remember, BP.
We're talking about Lincoln Race Week, and my two hosts were over at Lincoln Race Week, and
I'm sure Rory knows all about the QLD on the Sunday.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Did you have fun, Rory?
In Australia?
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was so good. I guess I left because I had to leave in visas and stuff, but it was COVID at the end, so there was a bit of a better get back to the UK now. This is a bit real, but I had an incredible time out there. The guys in the loft were all so good. Hard work, which I appreciate, and the sailing was awesome. It's obviously the whole bar. You all chuckle about how hard it was, but it was 25 knots downwind the whole way, and then we beat for about 6 hours to the organ pipes, and then went downwind at 20 knots through the Darwin. It's
it's always like that. It's always like that. Yeah.
I was about to say. So you've come down, you've done the Hobart, and you followed your pathway to where you are now, basically. You've experienced the start line of the Hobart. Now, that is an experience in itself, and one that if there's young people out there listening to your pathway, you've got to sort of explain the start a bit, because that's pretty special experience.
Yeah, I mean, the start, it's baking hot, and Coco's told us all we've got to be ready for what's out there. So we're now in full oilskins, sweating on the pumps.
Yeah,
he took the
there are boats everywhere. There's those rocks you have in the middle of the harbour as well, which you can quite easily hit. There's 3 start lines, and then just the gun goes, and it's like organised chaos. It's amazing. Spectators everywhere. You usually beat up around the heads and then bear away, but that's what we did that year anyway. And it's just so cool, the crowds on Sydney Heads, the South Head.
Yep. South Head. Yep.
Yeah.
Middle head, where you're going out on the left-hand side. That's the big one as you're going up. That's huge. If anyone is ever at the start, get over there and watch from there. It's awesome. 2019 was the last race I did, actually. So
I was just going to say, BP.
I believe it. They call it the Great Race of Rule Number 10.
Yeah, that was the year you got your port and starboard mixed up, BP.
Yes. And the pit always makes the decisions.
Yeah. So that would have been a terrifying year because there were the boats that were calling port as right of way on that start line, which was.
It's only been 6 years, Rory, and they still don't let it go.
We'll never forget.
It's just upside down, isn't it?
Well, it is Southern Hemisphere, I guess. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. No red port, right?
Well, I think like on a serious note, like especially for people in the UK, like, getting to Australia is not hard, and doing Hobart is something else. If you do a season down there,
Well, hang on, Rory. Hang on. You've done the Hobart. Then you've gone across to Adelaide.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Let's forget the Hobart. Put that aside. You've done the Adelaide to Lincoln yacht race.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. That's all that needs to be said, Bice, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all that needs to be said.
I mean, a little overnighter, seafood extravaganza, and I believe a lot of Mismatch Brewery beer that year, from memory.
Probably, yeah. I think we did it. It was a fast one actually, and
Didn't you guys win on IRC that year?
I think we did. I don't know. We've got a record or an IRC record or something. I mean, it was a bit of a blur, but a good blur.
Don't know why it was a blur. I've got a good idea.
And then there was Liquor Race Week after that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's great. It's a great little place. Like it's an amazing little town, little country town in the middle of Australia. For you, it must have been just like home in Scotland.
A bit like that. I mean, a little bit more isolated. I was pretty mind-boggled by like how isolated it all was.
Yeah,
there's a lot of space.
Yeah, that's Australia. Yeah. Bicey and I think Bicey and I were driving. We did a drive from where did we go, from Paris to Amsterdam or something one day, up through, and after we'd gone through Belgium and bloody everything.
Belgium?
Wherever, I've forgotten the pathway. Anyway, I've got a mental blank. But anyway, we'd gone through a couple of countries, and I said, you know what, mate, back home, the same amount of driving we would have gone through 2 towns in Australia.
Just got to Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
West Lakes is not far away from here, boys.
So with all this adventure you're having, mate, like, what about from the perspective of sailing boats? You're getting to sail lots of different boats. Have you got a favourite yet?
Of all the boats I've ever sailed,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like out and out experience, probably the Volvo 65s. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love kind of sailing 52s and 40s because they're just great fun to sail and hugely competitive and technical and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think just out and out sailing, just for a bit of a beast at 65. So probably.
So you did the round Europe race, right?
The first one.
Yeah. It was a bit of a. I guess it's a bit of a wild ride, really, because it was in deepest pandemic, so it was sort of marginal whether it was going to happen or not. And loads of my friends kept appearing on all these crew lists for boats. I was like, why am I not involved? Anyway, I found a skipper through one of my mates and sent him a CV, and again, he saw what size I was at the time. I'm a lot smaller now, and he didn't even read the rest of the CV. He just needed big folk, so off I went to Scheveningen. Excuse the pronunciations, any Dutch people out there, and we delivered it around to Lorient, and off we went. I actually, so their thing was they were doing 2 trial cruises, so I only did the first half. And then, so I did Lorient and Lorient inshore race, and then the leg to Cascais, which was the really long leg, well, not really long, the longer of the legs. And then we rolled out, and another set of people came in and did the rest of it. But it was was good. We had this sort of rogue band of pretty young. I think the oldest in the boat was 38. We did the inshore race and came off the line in like semi good shape, but there was zero wind. There's this island just off Lorient, isn't it? If you round this island, anyway, it was a flap off, and we were kind of third or fourth, and we saw like a little zephyr wind on the island, and tacked and went towards it, and suddenly it was like 8 knots on the island and everyone else is on the other side, and we kind of crept through everyone very slowly and then won this inshore race out of like nowhere. And we were like a thrown together team. There was all sorts of Volvo legends and all the other boats, and we're absolutely delighted. And we thought it was just a kind of like a bit of a jag, but anyway, you take it. Then the next day we're off and we're doing the leg. So the leg goes Lorient out to Point Alpha, which is a random point a couple hundred miles off the Portuguese coast, and back into Portugal. And the only sail we don't have, because they don't have the budget for, is the A4. Mm-hmm. And what is it? It's a VMG run down to Waypoint Alpha. So we are screaming around triple-headed at 130 degrees true wind angle, where everyone else is doing like 150. And we kind of got down there in good shape. It was all right. It was pretty. It was, I don't know, it was windy-ish, 20 knots. And we go around Waypoint Alpha in dead last. And it's a straight shot, Waypoint Alpha to Cascais. It's like 100, 110 true, 25.
On Manilo, you could smell it already.
Yeah, the chicken's ready.
Exactly. And then we get going and we're fully last. And then we lose comms overnight, screaming along, sitting doing 30 knots. Like sometimes like you're driving and then all you can see is the rig. So there's so much water over the deck. You don't know where everyone else is. And we got through it and we're pretty certain the leaders, the Portuguese team, were gone. And I was off watch. We just had this, like, I think we did 450 miles in 24 hours. And we get to the TSS and it's like full glass, like nothing. And I get woken up in the bunk, like we're moving the stack, like the water's coming out, just like sails going forward, we're onto the mole, everything like dazed and confused, no idea what's going on. And then we come out of this fog and there's like 2 Mocha 60s coming down over us, 2 Volvo 65s coming from the south up. And we were all like pinned to this TSS and everyone's playing cat and mouse along this TSS. And there's like little puffs come out of nowhere. You'd like accelerate through the puff, come out the other side and stop. One of the puffs came in, hit, I think it was 11th hour racing. And they couldn't go anywhere because there was all these boats like in the middle of the water, just next to this invisible line of TSS, and accelerated straight into the back of the Lithuanian team, I think it was. That played in our favor because we kind of like nudged through. The Polish and the Dutch got free and got up to the north of us, and they picked up this new breeze, and we were just kind of ambling across the bay on the mole, just kind of trying to get there. They come screaming down on the A4s. We managed to just stay ahead of the Polish. The Dutch then flare the spinnaker, and they've turned it into a flag at the top of the race. So we roll them, and we come screaming through. And then what we didn't realize is the Portuguese team went the wrong side of the TSS, and then we just won.
Yeah.
We just won.
Simple.
I don't know, like, what just happened? But it was really weird. So there was this really young team, like total harmony, and that you associate young teams with like hot-headedness and like over enthusiasm and stuff. But it was like total harmony. We kind of knew what we're up against. We knew our limitations, and we just sent it, I guess. And yeah, I mean, just kind of got off on a tangent there, but it was just
good
it
stuff.
was like
one of my favorite stories.
Things. And it was one of those things that just worked. And then we got on a plane and left, and the next crew took it on the next 2 legs.
Did you get Austrian citizenship after this?
No, unfortunately not. But yeah, I thought they might. But that was I guess that was going to be, for me, that was going to be a big thing because they were trying to gear up to do the ocean race itself, and I was going to be part of that. But then obviously the 65s all well, the class basically imploded as part of the ocean race, and the ocean race has gone a totally different direction now. So with that, I guess I followed other paths as well.
Talk about other directions. You're heavily involved with the Cape 31s.
Yeah, I do lots of that. That's great fun. Really good boats. Probably shouldn't plug them for the class, but the racing is great, and the boats are super fun.
It's quite impressive when you go to HYS Handball Yacht Services in the UK, and you go there and you see, well, in its prime, probably last year or so, that there was up to 30 boats there on the hard, and it's a super successful, but not to mention super competitive fleet, and a lot of people were throwing a lot of resources, let's say, use that word, at it to get out there and do the best. So it's pretty tight racing. You enjoy that?
Oh, I love that. And so I've done 3 years with Giraffe now, and unfortunately that program's coming to an end. But it's been great fun. But we're doing the 5th European round we've just done, and we're doing the Euros in Palma at the end in the middle of October. But the UK fleet's pretty good, but we went out to R&L and we're like, let's just step up again. Like loads of good sailors. Everyone's hungry. It's brutal. Like it's ruthless racing. It's awesome.
What's the path with the 31s at the moment? Is it? I see a few have kind of gone into the Med to do some sailing as well, but I'm guessing they're still cranking out the boats, right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, there's still new boats coming. The Med scene's growing really well. The UK scene's dwindled a little bit. Reasons I don't know. It's very hard to put a finger on definitively. But whether it's money in UK sailing, which I don't know, there is some of that. So the Admiral's Cup, there's plenty of that floating around here. Or whether it's just the European scene is getting so strong and people like sailing in places like Palma and
I wasn't going to say anything, but Solent, Palma. You know where I'm going there.
Yeah, exactly. It probably is a little unfair. I mean, the Solent does manage to draw in some of the best sailors and races in the world, and I absolutely love it here. It's more my temperature as well. So.
Well, you don't. I don't think I've ever seen you in anything other than shorts and t-shirt, mate.
I think that's about right. Yeah.
Wow.
Sweating probably.
Very cool. All right, mate. I think I guess before we go, the one question I do have to check is what's next for you.
What's next? That's a really good question. I've got, as I said, Cape 31's coming to an end. I just did an Admiral's Cup with Eno. That was great. I don't know what I'm committing to with them yet, so I'm a little bit open-ended just now, but quite nice in a way, because I've been in programs for a few years consistently, and I've turned down other programs because I'm committed to them. So it's nice to have an open book and maybe be able to sign up for another few things. With North Sales, like, we're doing all sorts of things internally, which I'm pretty involved with, and it's internal, so unfortunately it's going to be a little bit boring and can't really say, but there's a lot going on there, which I'm hopefully pleased to be part of currently. So yeah, nothing again definitive, but plenty in the works, I think it's the best way to put it.
Very cool. Well, I like it. We wish you luck, mate. Obviously, you're living your dream, as we said at the start, and that's a good place to be. So, best of luck. Thanks for joining us on the show, and keep smashing it.
Yeah, mate.
Thanks so much. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Nice.
Thank you, Rory. Enjoy your Friday night. We've dragged you out of the locals, so you're welcome. You're welcome Saturday morning.
I think it's bedtime.
Nice, mate. Thanks a lot.
Good on you, mate. Cheers.
See ya. Yeah, cool. Good having Rory on there. He did say not quite the traditional pathway, like having all squads and all that sort of thing, but I almost consider this a traditional pathway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Modern traditional.
Yeah, and like joining the industry, being part of the industry, and use it let's call it the industry pathway. So, but
let's
bloody
call
cool.
it
Essentially, takes you anywhere, gets everything. Smart kids, smart future. It's going to be pretty cool.
It's something we haven't tapped on for a while, isn't it? The pathway, and for the younger generation out there, it is all about picking up a broom. It is all about just being courteous and getting out there and doing it.
Having a crack.
Having a crack.
And all that hard work, you're obviously going to want to grab their Radix Nutrition. So when you do have to do the long hours,
of course you are.
You can just jump in and
imagine
keep going.
how much sweeping you could do with Radix Nutrition.
Now, boys, I have had a discovery because this last 2 weeks I haven't had a kitchen. I ripped out the old kitchen and been putting a new one in, and so I discovered in Radix they've got the Fuel and Go bundle where you can actually got no kitchen, no problem. You use their little premium portable nutrition device. You can spend $99 and get a little NutriBullet, battery powered one, and all their sort of Radix protein smoothies, which is a great little outcome. So if you're in the same situation, just jump on.
That kitchen would have came out rapidly.
Oh, it's glamour. It's glamour, but yeah, just jump onto Radix Nutrition, use Bar Karate as your discount code, and then
from the top of Everest to the middle of the Southern Ocean, or if you don't have a kitchen, radix.com. Hey, Mike, if you're listening, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. Okay, so other events, other news. Obviously, this weekend, Sail GP is in Switzerland. It would have been run and done. Practice races we've recorded, it's just been on. There are practice races on Friday. A little bit of stuff going on, but not too much to talk about.
Was there any breeze? I didn't watch overnight.
No, they sailed, but the breeze is looking pretty light for the weekend, but we'll find out later on. There is some other Sail GP news that we'll come back to. I think we'll leave it for hot time. The ILCA 6 and 7 Master World Champs are going to be on from the 19th to the 28th. So this week in Formia in Italy is probably the other major event. That's about it from events that I was going to bring up. There's plenty to talk about in hot time. Jack Lloyd Listener of the Week, brought to us by our friends at Vycobi. Boys, I was going through the Vycobi website yesterday. Holy shit, they make some good stuff, don't they? There's so
Good
much
kit.
cool
Great kit.
Just unreal. I was just going, it's my birthday coming up, and the bride's going, what do you want? And I'm just going, well, got to get something from our friends at Vycobi. And then I got lost in there. There's so much stuff in there. It's a good partnership. We're very lucky to be spending time with those boys.
Great partnership. And just to mention that the Maxi Worlds last week, you're just slowly seeing some more Vycobi kit coming into town, care of Jim Turner. And a few different boats are just getting more and more kit. It's, I think, looking down the road a little bit, this is the ultimate product for being out there.
The future's so bright. The future's so bright.
The sun shirts, the way things are going now, like everyone just loves those things. Yeah,
those sun shirts are cool. I'm very grateful to have one.
You're welcome, Pat Langley.
Yeah. Well, he's all over it. Yeah, very cool. So from that perspective, a lot of the emails this week have all been practical. I know where BP's going to jump, but just before he does jump that way, a lot of practical stuff.
I'll keep it clean.
Andrew Kennedy come in just talking about some attempts, and thanks for the kind words at the start, Andrew, but then also just talking about how there's been some issues where he's trying to listen. He's from Ireland as well, so good on you. We love the Irish, one of our favourite nations. He's struggling to get the thing open on what is it? The Apple thing. I've noticed when I try and listen to just released current edition on the iPhone, I get a message, this episode can't be played on this device. What happens seems to depend on how desperate, indolent a fan I am to listen. So basically, it takes about 24 hours. I think that might be a approval process for Apple. That could be what's going on there. There is a little bit of a process you've got to go through to get it approved. So if anyone else...
Word has it, it doesn't get the tick of the box until all the Apple employees have listened to it in California. China, California.
Yeah. Well, and
actually, it goes through the Chinese podcast department for Apple, and they've got to translate it. Then they've got to tick the box to make sure we didn't do too much swearing, to put an E next to it. So maybe that's the issue.
Well, Andrew was wondering if the third party conspiring, could it be Elon Musk or Putin, Vladimir Putin, trying to hold us off? Yeah, he said we need to release the hounds and investigate because he's suffering and he needs solutions. So, and then he gave us a little bit of information on the algae growth. So that was a really good email, which I'll go through in a little bit later on. But yeah, then we had a lot of people coming in to suggest podcast guests. They had a really shit suggestion for one. We had multiple suggestions for guests, but Graham Noble, you're an idiot, Graham. Absolute idiot. Like, why would we want to interview Bicey? It's not about him. So anyway,
you'll hear about it, Graham. Don't worry, old champion. Possibly listener of the week right there, my friend.
I'm thinking Hot Time with Bice is going to be an interview with Bice.
It could be. Kalen Howard, what was he sending? I didn't pick up on it. Did you look at that, boys?
Yeah, no, I've got that one. He's so there was a European, or actually a Spanish article on sailing, and it had all the boats, and he's gone and decided to draw a rainbow over the top. So there's the Snipe, the 420, the Laser, the Finn, the 505 is even there.
Yeah.
The Caneton, the 470, the Crevel, but the rainbow wasn't there, Bicey. The rainbow wasn't there.
Yeah, it's got all the classic boats as we know them today, except for the rainbow.
That's right.
Which is on its path back. Don't worry about that, my friends.
Oh, it's getting there.
So, yeah. I like how Calen's done it with his finger as well to draw the rainbow over the top. He's definitely following the Roy G. Biv way to draw a rainbow.
Yeah.
I can sing a rainbow, he reckons. I can sing a rainbow. I can sing a rainbow too. Well, he's done well, hasn't he?
So just confirming, we've got a hand-drawn rainbow over a bunch of boats. Very amateurish drawing. What does Calen do for a job?
Yeah. Well, didn't get the executive, the assistant to do this one. Could have put it to the team. Anyway.
Speaking of laughing, is there any other ones you want to bring up, BP?
Oh, mate, you know that I'm good mates with old Disney, and I'll keep this one a little bit clean. But, it was an interesting week on the socials. And, of course, we're not going to mention names and or things. But, we, as the email states, and I'll quickly read this one because I know the podcast is all about positive, and for sure we are all massive advocates for promoting equality in sport, which we are. I mean, there's no question that that's what we do here. So you might be careful about debating this one. But the alleged, we'll keep it under wraps, we won't say who, have now suggested publicly that man overboard or seamanship or even winchman are not acceptable terms for exclusiveness. So what we've got is a group of people sitting around trying to solve the world's problems, and have come up with the idea that we've got to get rid of man in all of these terms, which we use in safety. Man overboard, all that sort of stuff. And one of the ones that's come in is basically person in sea. Now, the way I sort of look at this is a bit sort of strange, because if you can imagine you're out there and you're over the side, you sort of generally say hit the man overboard button.
MOB button.
Yeah. So what do we got with the acronyms for PIC? It's basically piss.
Oh, okay.
So you've got someone on the water and you go hit the piss.
Yeah, there you go.
Doesn't
actually,
really.
It's going back to history. It's going back in history for that matter. Someone's in the piss.
Yeah, someone's in the piss.
Maybe that's the way. That's where that term has come from. Yeah.
Maybe, but I was just about to say it does bring a whole new meaning to the term hitting the piss, because generally that's what we do on a Friday night.
Obviously, you guys know where I stand because, the evolution of language is something I find quite interesting. And my response to that, the word man...
I did see your response.
Yes.
Can I read it out? Because it was bloody good.
Okay, go for it.
So this is the response. So as you can probably imagine, Disney's quite frustrated, along with the rest of the world, because that certain establishment has actually taken that post down and I believe reversed under pressure the decision to go forward with this, because there was actually another acronym that came up, which we're not going to mention at this stage of the show. I get so frustrated with this shit, Jordan writes. People don't know their own language. So he's pretty animated here, Boise. The word man...
This isn't the start of it.
The word man comes from a Proto-Indo-European root meaning to rise or to project, and developed into an Old English man, initially meaning person or human being. So there we go.
Yeah, it's the actual word man as used in our standard language. It's not sex aligned. It means the whole population. Chairman is the whole population. It's not differentiating between male or female, and that's the etymology of the word, where it comes from. And so that the word man technically is not sex driven. It has evolved in later on in life where it is meant to mean the male, but the actual word doesn't mean male. It means the population, the whole. So that's why I get frustrated, because if people understood the etymology, no one would worry about it. But anyway,
I'd love to be at the table when you and Rory Sussex sit down and discuss the evolution of the English language.
Yeah,
it's just a podcast unto itself, boss.
Well, yeah, that's right. A word in your ear, I believe.
Anyway, speaking of things I love to listen to.
It's hot time with Bice.
Yes.
He's back.
I'm back. What did you do without me? Did you do a hot time?
We just
with
bumble our way through.
It was boring time with us, is what it was.
I missed a bit of, well, not only the podcast, but obviously hot time, and being right in the heart of it. Got plenty of discussion, but
so much to talk about.
I think we're going to have to go rogue at some point, like Bar Karate Uncut, because there's so many potentials.
My theory,
as you know, we're working hard on our next stage of Bar Karate. Maybe that could be an offer to special subscriptions.
Here's my theory, right? We actually seriously try and make some money out of this show instead of not. Like, as I said, we give most of it away. But one day, what we would do is that we have enough money and get the three of us together at a major event and just go rogue live at the event and just, say this is an adult only edition. And if you come in that tent, that's what it's for. And then just see how far it goes. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think people would be into it, and we'd sell it that way, like
Bar Karate Uncut, you reckon?
Yeah.
Questions from the crowd.
Oh, open floor, open mic.
It's Bar Karate Uncut
on the couch.
B-Cuck. Anyway,
B-Cuck? Yeah, it would be cuck, all right. Actually, cuck it a bird.
Anyway, all right, hot time.
Rightio, what do we got? I guess one of the biggest mentions just recently is the 13th team for Sale GP.
Yes,
Artemis are back in the fray.
Yes,
and some names. Have they got some names in there?
Well, they got two.
A legend of the sport back in Nathan Outridge
as the helmsman. Yeah.
Which is great news for Artemis seeing them back. 13 team. It's starting to get pretty busy.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the good thing about this, obviously, Artemis long history in the Cup. They've did a lot of sailing on these boats, so they've got some good experience. It's a Swedish team. More Swedes in the world, the better, is our view. Ian Percy is the CEO of the thing. So, I don't know why we've never got Ian on the show.
Ian's definitely on the list.
Yeah,
sure.
we should reach out. Probably we should just record a dinner. Anyway, So they've got to announce the team, but that's going to come in pretty quick. That team will go to. You'd have to assume they'll have a couple of years of sort of bouncing around. But I think they'll be able to touch some pretty high-level sailors for that team. That's going to be cool.
Well, I mean, Nath knows the boats, and if there's anyone equipped enough to get it up quickly, that's him, eh?
Yeah, but it's all that team. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. There's some, there's some young talent he'll have known. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. But anyway, we'll find out. But that is exciting news. I think that's one of the big bits of news, that one. That's going to be very cool.
Yeah, big bits of news for the year for sure. And 13 boats on the start line for next season. Pretty cool.
That's
Pretty
it,
cool.
the full fleet next season. Yep.
The Baker's dozen. Perfect. So what else? The Volvo.
It's time for a new car, boss.
Well, did I mention Volvo before? The XC90 looks pretty good. These special these days.
Oh yeah,
but
the gunmetal grey one.
When I was working for Volvo, I was like, imagine we were actually sponsored by a car company that like Audi or something like that. The car park would just have black streaks, black lines leaving. But Volvo, we just potter out quite nicely. No misbehaviour. So it actually probably saved our careers, to tell you the honest truth.
I was just going to say, no misbehaviour in cars with the boatyard team. Hello.
No, not at all.
And
but Biotherm wins
all
the ocean race.
Hey, yep.
Biotherm, at time of listening, they're just kicking off the coastal, the last, basically the end of the racing in Montenegro.
The flyby.
But Biotherm takes the title.
Domination.
Yeah, complete domination. Yeah.
Did
you follow it much, Jordan?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Bit frustrating, I found it, I'll be honest. Especially that last leg, like they were just, the Imoca boats are designed to smoke away downhill. And then, a lot of it was sort of light winds and upwind, and I get it. They're building up.
Boats that are built and designed to go around the world.
Yeah.
And, sailing upwind in the Med.
Yeah, it wasn't the best use of them, but it's still good racing. There was still interesting things going on. There was the human element. The onboard reporting system is the best thing in the world for getting on board. I think they're going there. They're going to do the Atlantic crossing, aren't they, for 26, and then the ocean race in 27. So we should see a different use of the boats. But people going sailing, it's keeping people employed. We love everybody on the team that's working there in the ocean race. So it's good.
Yeah. And let's face it, taking sailing to a few new places.
Yeah. Wholesome
Quite
PRB
a spectacle.
Came back, and Team Melitza had a good finish off as well. So cool. So what are the overall standings at the moment? So Biotherm's won it. Perprec Arkea on 34 points, and Wholesome PRB 33.5. That's our top three.
After getting the redress. Exactly. What's happened? OK Worlds?
Oh, that's been cool.
Yep. One of the sorry boys, I just lost my results here.
I've got them.
I can help you out.
I must admit it took me 19 clicks to get to the results this morning.
Well,
how annoying.
Frustrating.
Boise, I started before the show and I've just got there, so timing was perfect. Hey, no, but I'll help you out. UK, the Great Britain OK team have dominated. So
the OK UK team.
The OK
UK BK?
Yeah.
UK.
The OK UK's on BK.
The OK's with the UK team.
Yeah.
Andrew Mills, Nick Craig, pretty synonymous with this fleet. So they're having a good event. Charlie Cumbley, so Matthew Howard. What a fleet though, eh? What a massive fleet.
But the thing with like you said, Andrew Mills, 215 boats or something, and his scorecard is 1-1-1-2. So remember, it was split fleet. So this is still split 1 and 1, and then into Gold Fleet 1, 1 and 8. I mean, there's some.
He's just let himself down there.
He's let himself down with an 8th.
There's boat speed. That tells you one thing. Somebody's got boat speed. So Nick in second, So in the qualifying 1-1-3-1-3-1, and then in the final 2-2-3. So that's impressive sailing, but it's got to be about boat speed to be, because it's a bit of a one-way track where they're sailing. So I'm really interested, but very cool, very cool. Imagine being that dominant of a fleet.
Obviously, the gold fleet there, so that's pretty cool. And moving into what I think is the silver fleet, if I push the right button, an Aussie's got up, David Meehan. So that's good to see with Terry Curtis from England in second. So a bit more sort of Australian orientated in the silver fleet, which is quite cool.
Hanging out for one there, baby.
But hey,
I mean, we're not biased, but it's pretty clear that the silver fleet had dominance here.
Well, you've got to understand that a lot of my mates have gone there from the Mighty Palace. So this,
okay, yeah, fair enough.
But in saying that, 200 boats. If you win a fleet, you're still going okay. But it was I think it's been a pretty solid event, to be honest.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. A bucket list event. I think it's like seven guys went from Adelaide Sailing Club.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Wow. Very good. Very good.
I can say though, Bicey, you grew up sort of dinghy sailing. I obviously didn't, and I've done a few little sojourns down here at the Palace with these guys on the OK, and the legs burn.
Oh yeah, yep, the legs burn. Good. Anyway, great class, and we'll continue to promote the OK, especially out of the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
On BK.
On the BK. Oh, yeah, good. What else is going on? Match Racing Worlds, Women Match Racing Worlds.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah, that's underway. So they're in the round robin series at this stage, but Pauline Courtois from France is looking really strong. I think
Pauline who?
Pauline Courtois.
Yeah,
okay.
How do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce it?
And then the Kiwi Megan Thompson. She's had a couple of losses, but they're the top two performers. But it's basically should be going down to the final today, so that it's ongoing. So some really good, solid teams, great racing. Oh, Hattie Rogers is in there on one of the boats, just flipping through the names. Friend of the show. Okay, but yeah, that's on.
Clipper race about to kick off.
Oh, they're on leg 2, so they're on the way to Uruguay. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's so stage 2. They're on the way to Uruguay, leaving Spain, heading to Uruguay. So jump on board if you want to follow on that one. Yep.
Plenty of good media coming out of those guys at the moment, from what I see. From a couple of episode 76 from memory.
Mm-hmm.
Brian was doing a bit of the media there.
Right.
So
that's right.
Oh, good.
Brian.
Perfect.
Bruce.
And then there was another regatta that what was it? Oh, yeah, sorry, the Maxi Worlds.
Oh, the Rolex.
That's right.
The Rolex Maxi.
Yeah, the Rolex Maxi Yacht Cup.
Yeah. What happened? It's not
Turbo.
really that interesting. Not many people could go, so I think we should just move on.
Did you hurt your arm or something? Did you said you got a sore arm coming home or something?
Yeah, that was moving Mount Galatea.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
I like that. Mount Galatea is a good one.
No stone unturned. But
congratulations to that Galatea team.
So where we're going here, listeners, I'm going to tell the world that you won the Maxi Worlds.
Yes, the Galatea won the Maxi Worlds alongside in the GP class, the Django won the Maxi Worlds. But I've got to admit, I mean, we'll talk about the big boat in a minute, but the Django, slightly biased here also because it probably came down to the mast just quietly.
Of course.
But
of course it did.
New idea in the 70-foot class in terms of the size of boat.
Mm-hmm.
You saw a lot of the 70-footers, they're creeping up in size. This particular boat stayed down on the lower end of the size scale, but extremely light. And we were coming in from one of the offshore races one day, and these guys were doing the coastal, and the 70s were smoking with the bro, and the traditional 70 quite heavy, pushing a lot of water. This thing literally looked like a Melger's 40. Popped out the water, bow up, smoking along.
Yep.
Super cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
So
We talk about innovation, and we do talk about it a bit. We had a chat to Rory about it. I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? There, that because I did see some footage of it. The thing did look like a dinghy, and that's why not?
Yeah,
why can't it? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's basically where you go. These boats, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 100-footer like that soon. To be honest,
Get the weight out of the boat and just get funky.
Watch this space, you reckon, boys?
Just go. But quickly flipping through the results, the Super Maxis, for those there would know the names of these boats, the Moet, Maxi 4 H2O, Maxi 3's Oscar 3, as mentioned, Django and the GPs and the Maxi 1's Galatea. And let me tell you, speak about putting it down to the wire. So last day, Windward Lords, the Leopard sailed an absolute blinder the whole week. They won it last year from, as you would all remember. They sailed, we ended up on even points, 18 points each, but Galatea wins by the countback. Put it this way, we were going into the last race 4 points clear, having won the first Windward Lord of the day. At the top mark coming down to the finish, we were not winning the Maxi Worlds at that point in time. Leopard had stretched her legs, and they were going to be the clear winner for the day.
And the call went out to the pit team to save us.
Saved.
Job done.
As it turns out, we finished the race, and we get the results in, and in our mind we were 5th, so we win on account back. The results come in, we're 8th. How'd this happen? So the race committee had actually put in the wrong start time. So the race was like an hour 10 long, but the elapsed time from the race committee was 2.5 hours or something like that. So we didn't know what the hell was going on, and people on radios and all the press boat were around. We're like, they wouldn't be around for no reason. And then it came through that we'd actually won it. But I've got to tell you,
talk about kicking a goal after the siren, boys.
Fuck! It's even worse. It's gone to umpire review.
Umpire review.
It's gone up to the room.
Well, I mean, you could imagine the disappointment in the other guys. The Leopard, was it Leopard? Did you say that?
Yeah, Leopard. So, but no, super cool regatta. Always good. Portacervo. Awesome boats there, and something we did this year at Southern Spas, in collaboration with our friends at both Norse and Doyle's, we set up this. We did a bit of ambush marketing, Jordan Spencer.
All right.
You'd love this.
Yeah.
Hired a little coffee cart, one of those up airs, the 3-wheeler things.
Yep.
Had a coffee machine in the back and gave away, I think it was like 1,200 coffees for all the guys and girls that come down the dock. I had the flag high. It was bloody good, actually.
It works really well, though.
That's going to be definitely something that we'll be doing in the future.
You must have been tired, Bicey, working as a barista in the mornings and then onto the boat all day.
Well, you can't see it now, but I had the moustache just twisted up at the end. I got myself a whole bunch. I had a sleeve of tattoos as well.
There you go. just fitting right in.
It was pretty cool. Awesome event. All the same, well, pretty much majority of the fleet are heading to Saint-Tropez now.
Were you wearing short shorts?
Oh, I love short shorts.
Yeah.
What, was I wearing short shorts? Yeah, absolutely. So, off Saint-Tropez pretty much for the last of, call it the maxi events of the year. And then Europe's almost coming to an end with only, I think, the IRC Europeans and then Middle Sea Race in kind of mid-October. So and that's kind of the med season racked, stacked, all done and dusted.
Actually, speaking of both ocean race, I think Flinders Island goes this week as well.
It's on. Yeah,
okay. So the European season done and dusted, so you'll be back in Australia. We might get you on the show a bit more regularly.
I can tell you, Jay, I'm just looking out the window and there's a light westerly of about 3 knots. Very she's going to be a bit of a drift off.
Well, there's a windsurfing event on at the Sunshine Coast this Sunday, and get the Wally out. And I looked.
Is the J-Dog going?
Well, he was. He's got the kitchen nearly done, so there's a bit of work to be done. But
just get your NutriBullet little setup have some Radix and you'll be off.
Yeah,
I got a better idea, boys.
there's no wind.
Get that kitchen bench top. Put
No.
your sail on that and get out there on that.
Well,
Not far off a rainbow.
yeah, exactly. No, there's not going to be any wind, so I'm not sure I'll waste my time. But it's a shame because I was super keen. But yeah, happy day. If it does pop up,
One day you'll get out there and just tear apart, mate.
I'm going sailing from November. I've made the call. I've set the rule in the house. From November, I'm back. I'm going sailing. I don't care on anything. On anything.
Yeah, loving it.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
Happy days. All right. What else do we have to touch on?
I think that's us, boys.
Is
Is that a lead question that you know something that we don't?
No, not in this instance.
Oh.
But yeah, no, it's good. I mean, obviously, with European season winding down, we start to wind up Aussie season and Southern Hemisphere season. So our friends in South Africa and New Zealand and Brazil, all those sorts of parts of the world fire right up. But yeah.
For anyone that's going to the Monaco Yacht Show, come join us on the 25th at the Southern Spas booth, Q7, 4 p.m. for a cheeky rosé.
Oh, and wear your whites.
I'm going to go to Annapolis next month. I'm going to go and have a bit of a wander around in Annapolis for a couple
You
of
and
days.
Shafe, I like it.
Oh.
Head down to McGarvey's for some mussels. Oh yeah, doesn't get much better than that, my friend.
Moulet, bit of moulet.
Yeah. No, I'm over there for work, but I might have a day spare, so I'm going to try a little dive out to Annapolis. But yeah, all right. Let's call it a that. Good chat.
Good
guest.
chat, boys.
Great times. Thanks for listening, everyone. Appreciate everything you do. Cheers at Barkarati is the best way to get in touch with us. Cheers at barkarati.com. Obviously, Radix Nutrition. Search that. Use Barkarati as your single as one word to get a discount. And visit our friends at Bykobi. Get your new sun shirt. We might have, I think that's it.
Holiday. Good. Have a good week, everyone.
See ya.
Make it home.
Make it home tonight.